Hey, how we doing on this Wednesday evening, guys? This is Frank. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. We'll talk some football in this video tonight, as there's been a bit of news kind of all over the map today with coaching news, with player news, with portal news, and then pretty cool piece of news involving a former Vol or a VFL along the way here as well. As you've probably seen some of that, but make sure you hit that like, that share, and that subscribe as we move forward on here. And I got some news at the end that I'll share with you on live streams moving forward, but I want to get to the point on this first. So first bit of news, Tim Banks, contract is supposed to end at the end of January. Chris Lowe, ESPN.com today did report, though, that Tim Banks, Tennessee, they are finalizing a deal that will keep him as the defensive coordinator. I'm not sure. It did not say for how long on it. So I don't know if it'll be a 1 year, if it'll be a multi-year or anything, but it does look like Tim Banks will be back as Tennessee's defensive coordinator next year. I know there's different opinions on it. To me, I'm happy about it. I'm glad he's coming back, because here's the thing about it. When people say, well, good, let him go. It's not that easy to upgrade. John Jancic to Bob Shoop, Justin Wilcox to Sal Sinceri. Really, it would have been Justin Wilcox to Kevin Steele to Sal Sinceri. So it's not that easy to upgrade. You could go backwards by a long shot. And if you look at it, I did a series on here, and I'll link it at the end. I said the evolution of Tennessee's defense under Tim Banks, and I detailed from where it was when Tim Banks took over that defense to where it is now. It's been a drastic improvement, not only in the stats, but also in the talent that they've accumulated on that staff as well. And they're bringing in more in this recruiting class. There's a lot of good players coming in, specifically on the defensive line and at linebacker. I like it. That for sure brings back Tim Banks, William Inge, Rodney Garner. Now the question's going to be what happens with Willie Martinez and Mike Eckler. Based on what I've read, I think Brent Hubbs, Austin Price have suggested they think Martinez will be back. He has been on the road recruiting. Mike Eckler has not been on the road. So I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you for certain that Mike Eckler's not coming back. I can't tell you for certain he is coming back, because there is a limit, if I'm not mistaken, to how many can be on the road. And their ace recruiter is Coach Chop. You're going to have your ace recruiter. Even though he's an analyst, you're still going to have an ace recruiter out on the road. So that could be the case, and maybe Eckler's brought back, as that special teams guy. But I think the most likely scenario, well, there's two of them I'm split on. Both of them involve Banks and Martinez returning. The other scenario is either that Eckler is back or Eckler's not back, and I think Coach Chop moves into a full-time role on field. And that's just based on what I've read. Some of the mods on VolQuest suggest. They've not said that for certain that that's the case. That is some of the suggestions that's out there. And that, to me, makes the most sense, because if you look through the players that have committed to Tennessee, that signed with Tennessee, how many times did you see the name Coach Chop brought up? If you've got to get your ace recruiter into an on-field role to keep him, I think you can do it. You've got to do that. And in the SEC, you have to have those ace recruiters. He is it. He is it. You've got to find a way to keep him around. So we'll see how that one plays out. But again, my personal opinion, I'm happy with Tim Banks coming back, because we have seen that. This is a fact. We have seen progress over the 4 years. We can throw in the Ohio State and the Georgia games all we want to. Yeah, that was 2 games out of 13. That's a small percentage of them. Yeah, they were both losses, but you look at it too. Who were the more talented teams in those games? It was Ohio State and it was Georgia. Ohio State more than likely is getting ready to win a national championship. Georgia, while Georgia wasn't at their best this year, but Georgia, still when it boiled down to it, was more talented than Tennessee. Tennessee's got areas they have to get better in before they can beat Georgia on the field. But without that defense, if you would have had a 2021 or 2022 defense with that team this year, they're probably about a 5-loss team. So silver lining on it. That defense got much better. Now, speaking of defense, here's where the bad news comes in. It was reported today. I saw Austin Price, VolQuest.com, reported Jermod McCoy torn ACL during off-season workouts at his home in Texas. That sucks for Tennessee. It's bad news. But if there's a silver lining on this, it's better that it happened now instead of happening during spring practice. So it looks like, based on what they're saying, he will be back for the season. Now, will it be at the start of the season or will it be more into the season? That one's tricky because it's going to be, you're looking at about 7.5 months till the season starts. Any more, the typical ACL recoveries kind of differ depending on how the rehab goes, barring there's no setbacks with it. I think there's a possibility that McCoy is good to go by the start of the season. But I don't know what percentage you put on it. Is it 50-50? Is it less than 50? Is it more than 50? I think it's too early in the process to tell on that. There was rumors that, or not rumors, Steve Wiltfong on 3 put out an article. They said Tennessee was trying to flip a portal commitment, and Kendrick Breedlove, who played this past season at Purdue, the year before played at Colorado, started out his first 2 years at Ole Miss. He's from Nashville, played at Pearl Cone. But I actually had recorded another video talking about him visiting because it said he would be visiting Thursday. Austin Price did put out a report tonight, though, said that with all the transferring around, all of his classes will not transfer. So it was something Tennessee explored, but it does not, according to Austin Price, look like that's going to be a match now, that's probably not going to happen. So you're looking at going into spring, Ricky Gibson, Jalen McMurray, your top 2 corners. There's others. There is depth, but there's not Jermod McCoy there either. I'm not so upset that he's not going to be participating in spring practice. My thing is I hope that the rehab goes well and that he's good to go for the season. So wishing him a speedy recovery along the way here. Speaking of portal as well, one of the positions I've said, and numerous people said it, not just me, I really feel like Tennessee needs one more running back. Well, Duke running back, he started New Mexico State. Went to Duke. I think there was a year of JUCO in as well. Star Thomas from Duke had 871 yards, around 7 touchdowns this past season for Duke. He caught 20 passes, around 150 yards and a touchdown. So a little bit of versatility there. A guy who at New Mexico State in 2 years was a little less than 1,200 yards over 2 years, was second team All-Conference USA. With this JUCO ruling, the Diego Pavia ruling, obviously that benefited Tennessee. Miles Kitzelman, who will be back for his 5th year. Now Star Thomas, Duke back, gets that extra year. And from the looks of what I'm seeing, he has 1 year eligibility back. He will be on campus to visit Tennessee this weekend. I'm not sure if it was Austin Price or Pete Nakos who broke the news on that. Both of them did put out stuff on it. I mean, they work for the same network, so I'm sure there's some communication there. But according to Austin Price, Pete Nakos on 3, VolQuest on 3 respectively, Star Thomas will be on campus. To me, that would be, I think, a solid pickup for him, a guy who's done it in ACC. Yeah, the ACC is not the SEC, but it still gives you solid depth, gives you a guy with some versatility. He was listed based on his on-3 profile, 5'11", 197. So that's a guy. You got Peyton Lewis, Deshaun Bishop, who you're looking at as your top 2 running backs coming in. Of course, you got DeJuan Morris, Justin Baker, 2 freshmen coming in. You need another running back, and that would be a veteran guy who's played a lot of football, had a lot of carries, could add to that backfield. I think it would be a good pickup for Tennessee if it's able to work out. I've not seen anything about him visiting any other schools. So maybe that's a case of where Tennessee, they've done their thing right now. They're able to get him on campus and go with it. And then, as far as portal goes now, Emmanuel Pregnon, USC offensive lineman, had visited. He ended up committing to Oregon. There was talk that he wanted to play in the SEC. I'd seen it from Austin Price. Well, he ends up going to the Big Ten. And Oregon, who was the favorite for him coming out of the portal, coming into the portal anyhow. I have not seen any more names. I was kind of curious with the Penn State wide receiver Wallace, their top wide receiver, hitting the portal, but I've not seen Tennessee mention on that. Maybe Tennessee determined they're not interested, or maybe Wallace isn't interested. It takes two to tango on it. But also, too, I mean, people see Penn State top wide receiver entering the portal. Think about this. How many catches did they have against Notre Dame? They weren't real big. Wallace was pretty good, had decent numbers, but in that big game, I don't know if that's on the quarterback. I don't know if that's on the receivers or what. But I don't see Tennessee mentioned there. I still think they need another wide receiver personally, but I don't think if it's somebody you don't like or you don't think fit, I don't think you just add to add. I'm just not a believer. And I think you add quality. You know, if you were down to still had two wide receivers, yeah, but the fact that Mike Matthews come back, the fact they got Amari Jefferson out of the portal, and yeah, these guys are improving. I get it, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know if Tennessee's made contact with Wallace or not. So that one's obviously not over. He's due to take multiple visits. Last piece of news, which was pretty cool. Big John Henderson played early 2000s at Tennessee. You remember the defensive lines, you guys that were back those years. Him and Albert Haynesworth in the middle. That was, man, they were something else. But John Henderson was elected today to the College Football Hall of Fame. And I'm not sure what the criteria is, how long they have to wait to be elected, because there were numerous names that stood out on that. It's like, wow, Michael Vick got elected today. I mean, Michael Vick at Virginia Tech was phenomenal. Nick Saban, Urban Meyer were listed. I saw Michael Stringham. I mean, he played back years ago in college. So congratulations to Big John Henderson. He was awesome. Went on to play in the NFL for a while with Jacksonville. He played with the Raiders for a little bit as well. So congrats to him. Another Hall of Famer for the Vols, which is always pretty cool to see as well. But if there's any more kind of news, I'll keep you updated. I said at the beginning, I'm going to have an update on our live shows. We're taking a sabbatical from live shows right now. Been doing close to like 3 to 4 per week. It's a lot. And I'll be honest with you, it's kind of an approach of work smarter, not harder. And the live shows are harder work. And really, we get more out of the videos. We get more out of the videos than we do the live shows. It builds community. I love the community we have with the people on it. But right now, I've just got a lot going on. Work, personal, just all these things. And it's just not – we'll do more live basketball. We're debating on maybe just going back to the live Monday night show to discuss. But it's just hard to do a live show after every basketball game. And you notice I started cutting some of them at 30 minutes. They're just not – again, it's a lot of work. And again, love the community, appreciate it. It's really kind of what we need to do. Baseball – yeah, we'll do more live stream. It won't be every, because I'm going to go to quite a few games this year. I've luckily made a contact that's pretty good on that. We do have baseball previews coming up. If you're a member of the channel, make sure you check that out in the description. Kerry's recorded a couple videos on the infielders. I'm going to do some stuff on the pitchers, catchers. He's going to take the outfielders as well. Once I get those all done, I'm going to go ahead and upload them for members, and then I'll probably release them at the first of next week. That I'll start releasing those videos to get them out. He's done 2 on the infielders, the corner infielders, the middle infielders. Awesome work. You'll look forward to that. Very detailed, very thorough on it. And then I'll come in. We'll get them going as well. But you guys have a great rest of your evening. Tennessee plays Georgia tonight at 8. We will not be live. I will record a video either later tonight or first thing in the morning on that. It's always a great day to wear the orange. And with it being a game night, go Vols.